guys, how are you? I hope you're well. I'm well myself. My name is Wanyiha, for those we haven't met, and I'm glad to be here speaking to you. This is a video under the playlist of The Chosen One. And I'm happy to be approaching this subject because I'm quite passionate about it. I've been wanting for it to load, especially because I feel like some people do not understand or do not know that they're called, that they're chosen to do a particular thing, because your road to this place where you can hear me has been treacherous, yeah? And you're wondering, am I really called to be anything? And when God establishes that for you, you get very amazed, yeah? And you may spend a lot of time staying in amazement and never getting to do, what you're called to do, yeah? A story is told, I had this in a wedding where one of my friend's dad was speaking, and he said that a couple got married and they wouldn't get a baby for very long, yeah? When they finally got that baby, they spent every day showing telling people, oh, you thought we wouldn't get this baby, but now he's here, yeah? And because they were not watching the baby, they were just keen on making everyone realize that they finally got this baby. The baby was affected by lack of care, and they ended up losing the baby. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this to say that sometimes you've gone through such treacherous paths. You've suffered long and hard, yeah? You've been rejected in your family. You're like that stone that Jesus referred to, and David too, when they said, the stone the builders rejected has now become the cornerstone, okay? You were once not important. You were not seen as anything. You were not regarded. And mostly it's not because people wanted to. It's just that they did not understand you, yeah? So you'll find these things are never open, okay? And even as we speak of the chosen one, in the family and in the society, in the workplaces, in marriage, in all these places, they don't even know that they are the ones, okay? So a firstborn will rise up and realize that they had been given this mantle that is very important, and with it came, it's everything that God gives you is a package, okay? So with it comes authority, it comes leadership, so that when you say something, it is hard. But you find that you're going through all these things, yeah? And because of evil altars in your family that challenge the things that you're given by God, you find that perhaps your authority was challenged, yeah? You grow up in a family and it turns out that you're not even the leader that you thought you naturally would be. You look around, your siblings are doing better, they're able to speak for themselves, they're able to command, things to happen, they're able to say no where you couldn't, and you wonder, who am I, okay? Or maybe you thought that your duty and your responsibility, especially in most homes where we come from, was taking care of these other children, okay? And taking care, of things of your parents' home, okay? Not realizing that you are also a child. Nobody said these things because we are conditioned and socialized in a certain manner. And then now you come to this age where God is changing things, yeah? It is God. At the end of it, it is not our being walk, okay? It is not us. So walk that we know the difference, okay? A time has come for things to change, because the way things had been was because some people were in control, some people had taken dominance, okay? And a lot of things appeared a certain way, okay? Now, I said, if you've grown up in Africa, seeing all these challenges, being conditioned a certain way, and you thought, me, in my position as a family, I'm supposed to be acting this way, but you found that nothing is agreeing with your spirit, okay? But you come to realize as you grow, as you study, as you look around, you realize that my society is conditioned this way, okay? And then perhaps by God's, grace, the gates open for you to go to another place, and you see all these differences or similarities, yeah? Like in North America, I mentioned how people come and realize that there are people who are challenged in the same way, okay? So you'll find even when you come across people who want to go to Africa and help, you're confused because you didn't know it then, because it was it was not shown to you that people in America and other places are actually suffering in certain manners, okay? There are things that affected them both spiritually and physically. Okay, there is damage from the times of World War II. Okay, there are people who are not able to cope with this capitalistic environment, and the way things are set up, and now they come to a place where they are really like it has been happening to a point where people who throughout, when people were adjusting, getting into jobs, to make a living, there are people who couldn't cope with that, and they're like, they got lost in the system. They became homeless. They couldn't, cope with the situation, cope with the way things are set up, and they ended up losing maybe a job. Some got ill, so, and they lost out so much, and they're like, am I even an American? Somewhere else could be asking, am I even in Africa? Do I belong to this country? Because I've never benefited, you see. But I see other people benefiting. So who am I? And maybe you saw your people going through, a difficult system that affected some in your family, but some seemed to do well, right? But here you are asking yourself all these questions and wondering, why is the world set up this way? Why was I not noticing these things before? Was I such a child? Especially if you're clamoring to come abroad and you find that things are, set in a way that is not even dignifying sometimes, yeah, and you're like, oh, is this all there is to life? Just work, a bit of showing off online, showing selfies, trying this and failing, and you're like so sure there's something wrong. Okay, so wake up, child. God is calling you to into what he deposited in you a long time. You have gone through places, you have been rejected, and this is not all the chosen one experiences. Sometimes some experience actually a lot of acceptance, support. There are people who you cannot convince because they were picked as a child, helped through different organizations. They come abroad, they're sheltered, they are taken through, they just see good things and they are able to, pull up and do the thing, yeah, get education, are able to help perhaps or not, Anyway, so some chosen people may not know it, but they are very, very, well set, well chosen by God, yeah. And the best example is Moses, yeah. So he's born in this Hebrew home. He gets, privileged upbringing in the Pharaoh's house, and then God now calls him into this. It looks like stepping down, yeah. So he's told, you're actually not an Egyptian prince. You belong to the Hebrew people. And he realizes, oh, I was raised here and now I'm so passionate about these people. Example is where he's walking around watching, as the slaves work, and he see an Egyptian hitting, a slave while he's working, and he ends up killing the man. And then the next day he's going around, and, his own people attack him and they say, you think you can kill us the way you killed an Egyptian? And he realizes this thing is known. And later he has to flee. And in that fleeing now, he sees a different kind of life, okay? So when you're chosen, you'll see that your life is taking a certain path, and nothing has prepared you for this moment because you don't know that life is about to change. Maybe, but like Joseph, you grew up around brothers who are making fun of you, that called you a dreamer and all these things, and you kept telling them, I dreamt these things, I'm supposed to be so great, and they cannot stand it, yeah. And then he goes to a place where he's shown to be a slave, like he's living his life as a slave, working so hard to please the master. And then he realizes that the whole time God intended to establish him, put him in a position of power. And this is very confusing because before he comes to this place, he has gone through, a loving childhood by his father. Even though he grows up without a mother, the father is very committed to him. He grows around some hostile brothers, maybe a stepmom who never even, or maybe did, I don't know. But he comes to this place where he's now, getting all this weird, attention from Potiphar's wife. And then he's thrown into jail, being, falsely accused. And let me tell you, nothing prepared this boy for all this, okay? We see another chosen boy who is forever taking care of his father's flocks. He has been conditioned to know that this is my duty as the last born in this family. My brothers are doing greater things. They are the soldiers of Saul, okay? Whenever they go into war, the big bros go. I can go, I'm taking care of the flock, okay? It's the simple job to do. But while he's there, God is training him, and he's, prepared to fight a giant by fighting for his flock, okay? Against lions, against bears, yeah? And now when the time comes, it turns out that this is the only prepared guy. Okay, remember he had been anointed as king when Samuel came into this home, and nobody could understand, what is going on. And for a long time they forgot, yeah? So God had him anointed and then threw him into, back into doing regular things, yeah? So many of you, that has happened. You've been anointed and then you've been sent back into more trouble. And you're like, how, And even after killing the giant, you don't think that you'll have to fight, against the king or run away from the king that you were honoring by fighting an enemy, on behalf of, because the king couldn't kill the giant, you did. So you're supposed to be honored. Instead, the king gets jealous, okay? And the women do not spare him. They're singing, David killed 10,000, while Saul has only killed a few hundreds. All I am saying is that you're called for a time like this. Wake up, child, because God wants you to know who you are. And sometimes you'll have to go through a very treacherous path just to learn, yeah? What he's doing is sharpening you, yeah? And waking you up to the fact that you're this great and mighty person, that he installed all these things in you. And while you may look back and say, but I'm not prepared, I don't have this privilege, childhood, my people are not great warriors, okay? I come from this line of women who are actually treated very badly in society. I come from these women who are also rejected like me. Who am I that you would think I can approach people and talk to? Okay, and God says, because your people went through that was actually training, okay, for what you're about to do. You can't imagine that, okay? And so on and so forth. I know the experiences are very different. I know that it's not something you are ready for. You have actually allowed other people to go ahead. You have viewed other people as better than. You have had friends who you served diligently because you were like supporting, this great person to be, because you felt like that is all you can be, a subordinate, yeah? A helper to these greater people, yeah? And God says, no, it is you, okay? The stone that was rejected in so many places, you were rejected or accepted, and you didn't know that these people are accepting you because they see a leader that they need in you, okay? So it's not always going through trouble, but everything that you go through prepares you, yeah? So this message was about telling you that it is time. You can feel it, yeah? I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. God is awakening you or awaking you, yeah, to the fact that it is time for you to come into the place that he called you. Some are very prepared, and let me tell you, if you don't get prepared, if you're like me that never prepares because you don't expect certain things, you think because of the road I've been on, yeah, because of the path I've been on, like for me, in the past season, let me say, I was thinking that God is going to do a personal thing for me, just give me a private breakthrough, sort of like a payment for all I've been through and all I've been doing for people. And it turns out that, I was hoping to go private. Turns out it's not that, yeah? So I was not even prepared. And let me tell you the danger of that, yeah? Is that people forget that an opportunity will come. That is where we lose faith, eh? Especially when we think that we know what God is doing, we will lose faith because of the delay, and we'll wonder, when are you coming? Okay? And if by faith also you wait in that waiting place and you're thinking God will surely come this way, and God surprises you by coming another way, yeah? But bottom line, what I'm saying is that the opportunity will come, but will it find you ready? Opportunity will come, okay? Let me tell you, you don't even have to be special. You don't have to be, prepared in thinking that I am great and mighty. Perhaps all you need to know, all you need to be doing is, looking periodically at your vision and reminding yourself that this will happen because God put it in me. Opportunity will come. I just hope that you'll be ready. But wake up, child. You are ready. You don't even know it, you don't feel it, but you're ready to do the thing that God is calling you to. You may have to start very small, but God is making you into a great oak. Okay, so I'll see you on the next one. Be blessed, be encouraged, affirm yourself, because your vision is coming into fruition. Okay, God bless you and keep you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.